How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I want to talk about how alcohol drinking is affecting your work. And when I'm talking about your work, I'm talking about in terms of whether you work for somebody else or whether you work for yourself. You know, it's all the same, it's in the same bucket of things. You know, alcohol affects your life in a lot of different ways, right? It affects your health, it affects your relationships, it affects your finances, it affects how you think about yourself, it affects your thoughts and your actions. And you know, all of this basically revolves and comes back to affecting your work. And you know, your work can start to affect other areas of your life as well. I'm talking about your work, whether you sit behind the desk for a living, whether you get out and you work outside for a living, whether you work physically or manually. It doesn't matter, you know. I mean, from a physical aspect, alcohol deteriorates your body. And from a mental aspect, alcohol certainly deteriorates your mind. And all of this combined is reducing your capacity to be the person that you want to be, to do the job that you either are required to do or that you want to do. You know, for me, it was always building a business and trying to keep that business going, trying to keep my own motivation in the business, you know. And it's very difficult if every day you get up and you've got a fucking hangover and you're thinking, geez, I just don't want to climb a tree today, you know. I don't want to go inside underneath a forest and spend all the day long getting wet when I could be sat in a nice warm pub beside the fire just getting slowly drunk. And that's what it sort of boiled down to a lot for me was that kind of reduction, you know, reducing everything down to that. Everything was focusing down to that, and it was just affecting everything that I was doing. You know, as I said, I'm sort of a mind that I want to achieve in life. I want to take, especially from a business perspective, to grow a business and to have a successful business where I can leave my son some things, you know, a house or whatever it is. You've got the short-term effects of alcohol and you've got the long-term effects of alcohol. You know, you've got the hangovers, which are obvious ones, you know, that we obviously are. You know, if you go into work with a hangover, or you know, your hangovers might be stretching 2 or 3 days, and in which case you go into work with a hangover, your work productivity is being affected for 2 or 3 days. Your work productivity in general is being affected for 2 or 3 days, and we know that because, you know, we're feeling it physically, we're feeling it mentally. But there's the underlying brain fog, which you don't feel because it's happened over such a long period of time that you've got used to it. You know, you get used to your brain operating at a certain level. And if that operational capacity is diminishing over a long period of time, you don't notice that reduction. You know, it's just normal. And it's only when you stop, you know, and this can happen within 30 days. This can happen within a week. You know, you start noticing how much your brain is functioning better. It's only when you stop drinking and you stop drinking for a certain period of time that you notice how much alcohol was affecting your life. And you know, it's one of those things as well, which is a double-edged sword, because people start getting really good brain activity back. They start getting good productivity back, and they go 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months into this journey, and then they start thinking, well, yeah, maybe, you know, I'm at a stage now where I can take a drink, you know. But they associate the drink with the fun. They associate the drink with the socializing. They associate the alcohol with good times in life. And they don't associate it with the brain fog and I like to say it's like a self-inflicted handicap that people are putting on themselves every single day. You know, we try and, as you're growing older, you try and get rid of as many handicaps as you can to your life in terms of what you know and what you're learning. You know, you learn more, when you're born, when you go into a certain job or you go into a certain business, you're handicapped to a certain extent because of your knowledge, right? You don't know a lot of stuff that the old timers know, that's what people with 50 years experience in a business are always going to outshine people, novices that are just coming into the business, unless that business is completely new and fresh. And like if somebody's been, let's say a journalist from 50 years ago is going to have a certain handicap when it comes to using modern technology in their business, but when it comes to knowing what to write and what people respond to, they're going to know an awful lot more. I think gradually we forget about that handicapping that has happened to us. I don't think most of us realize it. We just think that because the physical effects are gone and we're starting to think clearer, we don't actually delve into it and think, well, what was the reason, what was the cause of this in the first place, and why did this happen? We obviously put two and two together and say the alcohol caused the fogginess of the brain, the alcohol caused the physical symptoms, but you have to think into what is actually happening inside your body when this is happening, not just A equals B. There's a lot of different steps in between that, and like I say, when your brain fogs up, it's been fogging up for a long time. I drank for 30 years, and that process of brain fogging was just, was happening over. Didn't realize it was happening, and it's only when I sort of got out of that. And like as I said before, I don't know how much actual physical damage there is to my brain, right? I don't know how much physical damage there is to my body. Can't help that. All I can do is go from the baseline that I was 4 years ago and work my way upwards from there. As I say, onwards and upwards all the time. It's the only place that you can start from. I mean, obviously, if you've got medical issues, you need to get those sorted out first and foremost before anything else happens. But then the rest is up to you. And there's a gradual forward and upward momentum. Once you get momentum, you start moving things a lot quicker. Your brain starts to work quicker. Your experiences come thick and fast. Like I say, I said in another video that I saw a picture coming by of my sister at a wedding, and I'm doing this all the time now with just things that I'm thinking, Jesus, was that only a year ago? Because it says, oh, here's your memory from 1 year ago, and you're thinking, that can't be right. That feels like 2 or 3 years ago, and that's because of the brain fogging and the way my brain used to be. And it's because now time has literally slowed down. Literally, I feel like I'm getting much more out of each second of the day, and that is such a massive benefit in your life. But getting back to your work anyway, this is what the whole video was about. Everything is bound to suffer, because once your brain is under this massive concentration of abuse that you're putting it under, it's bound to have effects in everything that you do. So, in terms of owning your own business, then the growth of that business is going to be really slowed down. In terms of working for somebody else, your own personal progress throughout the company that you're working for, promotions and all that kind of stuff, is all going to be put on the back burner. It's all going to be just think about where you could be now if you had never drank alcohol. And I'm not talking about just some gobshite who thinks, oh yeah, well, he's a drinker, and he's drinking a lot and he's slowing it down. I'm not thinking about that. In reality, it's only people when you stop drinking and you say to them, oh well, I don't drink anymore, that people think, well, then you're sort of you might be a problem to their business now because you're an alcoholic, whereas all the time you were drinking, they didn't think anything of that. They were joining you maybe in the pub. But anyway, look, I'm going to finish it there and just say, alcohol is and does affect every business that a person who drinks is involved in, whether it's their own business or somebody else's business. And you stopping drinking alcohol is going to have the opposite effect. It's going to improve your business or your job. as well as improve your life, every other aspect of your life. So get the alcohol out of your life. What the fuck are you doing? Stop doing this to yourself. I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth, out of your life. Onwards and upwards. Good luck.